My name is Lakwe. I'm wondering how to start this. Okay, I'm a writer, I'm a blogger, and I'm a speaker. The writing part, I think, has always been with me. I really don't remember a time when I didn't want to write. I wrote for True Love West Africa for 5 years, the entire time the magazine was around. And then when that stopped, I actually felt kind of lost because I realized that I really wanted to continue writing and I wanted it to be not just my journal, which I have. I wanted people to see the writing and enjoy it as well. There are many things that I like, but I wanted to do something that I knew that I could keep up for a long time. And after thinking a lot, I realized that travel was that thing. Traveling is expensive, particularly living in Nigeria. But somehow you manage it. I've realized that if you want to do something, you will find a way to do it. There are many people that say, "Oh, like, how do you do everything you want to do?" But the truth is that I don't wear the clothes that they do. I don't have the bags that they do. You know, I simply don't do stuff like that because I want to spend my money traveling. So I've managed to travel to 9 countries in 6 years, and because I can't constantly do that, my interest has focused inwards and into Nigeria as well. I'm not going to lie, a lot of the reason why I haven't traveled to many places in Nigeria is because I'm worried about my safety. One, I'm a girl, and two, even if you're a man, you're not safe in some places. But that has not stopped me from going to certain places, you understand? Because, for example, I've always wanted to go to Cross River. And I didn't know how, and that's another thing, you know, if you want to travel, there are so many excuses people give me, and I don't understand how they come up with these excuses. They say things like, I don't know anybody there, how much is it going to cost, and I feel like these are just basic things. How do you need to know somebody if you go stay in a hotel? I don't follow. So I wanted to go to Cross River, and eventually that happened. I didn't know anybody in Abuja either, and I went. I studied geology like Polari, and oh, you studied geology too? And if you study geology, you're going to travel, particularly in your final year. So we managed to go to Oshobo, Edo State, Abuja, did like a tour of West Africa and geology of Nigeria. Yeah, so I think that also helped. But I think really it's about what you want inside. If you have a sense of adventure, if you want to see around you, it's not going to be just going to America or going to the UK. You're going to want to see the places around you. You understand? I really don't. I think it's just a passion. And then if there's this passion, you can't help yourself. You must do something about it. You can't keep it inside. You won't tell other people about it. And then eventually people see this passion and want to be part of that as well. Speaking about the I'm going to try to keep under 3 minutes. Please just give me a give me a sign when I'm talking too much. You mentioned my nail art. So I started my blog. After True Love West Africa, and on the blog I write about travel, I write about nail art, and I write about careers because those are the things that are most important to me right now. So unfortunately you can't see pictures, but on Twitter, for example, you can see the nail art I have on for today, which is in honor of Social Media Week. So my Twitter handle is Lakwe Shredder. So what you'll see on my blog are pictures of where I've been in Nigeria. You'll see pictures of nail art, and you'll see pictures of my careers, about careers. So my being here today, I'm hoping that I can show people, particularly women, that you don't need much to travel. You don't need much to travel within Nigeria. You just have to have the passion to go and the determination.
Ladies and gentlemen, we didn't want this to be like the other sessions. It's a travel thing. So we have loads of pictures we had planned to show you. We were supposed to actually begin with the photo slides, but because our guy there was trying to sort it all out. So we're going to go, I think I should allow everybody to say something about themselves, and then we go over to the photo slides and spend a few minutes to show you all the pictures we've gathered from our trips across the country. Such beauty you will see. So I introduce you to Tanaz. Tanaz strikes me as very remarkable. I met her once or twice at different occasions, but we never got to talk one-on-one. And for someone to come into Nigeria and start a blog or a website called Lost in Lagos, with the sole aim of trying to tell residents of Lagos or visitors to Lagos about where and where to go in Lagos. I think it's remarkable. It's something Lagosians should be doing for themselves. But why it has taken our friend from outside to do this for us remains a wonder to me. It just shows us how much interest we show in our own thing, in what is ours. So I let Tana just give us a brief about what inspired Lost in Lagos and what has that been from when you started it up until now. 3 minutes.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, I started Lost in Lagos about just over 3 years ago, but I moved to Nigeria 6 years ago, and I ended up moving to Nigeria. I came for work, and it was supposed to be a short trip, and I ended up meeting my husband here, and ended up staying, which has been really the best thing that's ever happened to me, and I have a lot to be thankful for, and I think Lagos is probably the #1 thing to be thankful for, because that's what brought me here, and that's what made me stay here. And I think my passion for Lagos has just grown over the years, and has just gone beyond what I even expected, because I'm discovering Lagos, I'm discovering the people of Lagos, and I think Nigeria in a way, because Lagos is really a melting pot of people from all over Nigeria, people from all over the world, and I love that. I love that about Lagos, and you really learn a lot about the country just by interacting with different people. And I think when I first moved here, I had trouble like finding my way around. And when I live in a country or visit a country, I like to find places to go, things to do. I really try to discover the city that I'm in. And when I found it difficult, people used to just tell me, oh, there's only a few places, and they'd say the same places over and over again. And I just didn't believe that that was it, that was Lagos. Like this huge city with millions of people only has a handful of restaurants or shops, or I just thought that didn't make sense. So I started discovering Lagos and finding out that there's a lot to the city, and it's very hidden. It's a maze almost. You really have to look for it. And a lot of people didn't. They just stuck to the places they went to and used word of mouth as, by discovering 1 or 2 new places. So I thought, I want to show people that Lagos has so much to offer, there's so many places, and a lot of these businesses don't have the means to really market themselves. So I put up this website and thought, over time we'll just add places to it. Over the past 5-6 years that I've been here, Lagos has changed dramatically. I mean, you won't recognize it from when I first got here. Even my husband's been here 13 years, and he said that when he used to drive down Lekki to Ajah, it's like completely unrecognizable. You won't even be able to find your way because you won't be able to recognize the city. And that's how much Lagos has developed just over such a short period of time. And there's only much more to come, and that's what I really look forward to. And because of that, I started the We Love Lagos campaign to help push Lagosians and people living in Lagos to talk highly of the city they live in, or talk positively, so that people outside will really see that and appreciate the city the way we do.
Amazing stuff. Our next panelist is Folari. Folari runs Naijatreks, and I met him for the very first time at Social Media Week 2013. And we got talking, and I realized that we were geologists, we were trained geologists. And that explains why we like to go to the field, because geology is about field work. So we are basically applying what we learn in geology classes to our work in tourism reporting and writing. And Folari has a couple of nice images. If they don't inspire you to travel, then nothing else will. Yes.
Well, he has introduced me. I'll just go straight to the point because our time is already gone. I started traveling in Nigeria in 2003. Then I was at, some of us know about JAMB. JAMB jammed me then, so I was at home. So right from secondary school, I started loving geography as a subject. When our teacher started teaching us about physical features of Nigeria and West Africa, I started learning about river courses, waterfalls, hills, incel beds, volcanoes. Those things used to spark my imagination. I started thinking like, oh, how these are formed, how are these formed? I grew up in Ondo State. Ondo State is surrounded by hills, beautiful hills, and granite incel beds. And they got me thinking like, I should be able to climb this, I should be able to climb this. So during that time, when I was at home reading for my next JAMB exam, I started exploring those locations in my geography textbook. Some of us know Goshenong very well. So so what do I do? Okay, let's say I want to go to Idore Hills. I will ask my neighbors, adults, please, how far is Idore town from here? So they tell me it's just about some kilometers. Please, how much is transport from Akure to that place? You know, so I'll start saving money up and target like maybe 2 months ahead and save money up. Then when my mom goes to work, I'll pick up my bag, my camera, some writing stuff and some lunch pack. I'll pick up my bag and go. Though I ran into trouble one of those days. I went somewhere very far to explore a lake they call a Bomi Lake, and I got home really late. But that was where everything started. Then I felt, okay, there are some beautiful hills not far from my house. Like, I should be able to climb these, and I went climbing those hills. They're on the outskirts of Akure town, and I discovered some beautiful caves, and even a rock pool that had turtles in there. You know, you won't believe what I'm saying until you see photos. You know, so basically, that got me really, really loving geography and loving Nigeria, as well as its physical features. And, you know, later on I wrote my JAMB, and guess what I heard? Can anybody guess? 100 over 100 in geography. Yeah, I was like, wow. So I knew, okay, I had 2 choices in my JAMB, architecture and geology, but I knew it's geology that I'm going to do. And I've been loving it since then, and that got me traveling around Nigeria. Also, when I was in the university, because of my passion for tourism, then I just started writing for Tribune. That was 2004. You know, everywhere I went to, I took pictures. So I started sending pictures to Tribune, to Wale Janari. I'm sure you know him very well. So he started calling me, we started talking. I went to meet him, got traveling together. And then I started to start a tourism club on campus, which grew into a membership of about 30 before I graduated. And you know, everybody started traveling together. We went to a lot of waterfalls, a lot of places. And then I finished school, and I had loads of pictures, articles, and stuff right there. And then social media was already becoming the big thing out there. And in 2000, that was like 4 years ago, 2010, I thought, let me design a website and get this thing out there. I mean, I need to show people how beautiful Nigeria is, especially the adventure part of Nigeria. I'm not so keen on going to the Obudukato Ranch, like a Pin Tropicana, places that have been developed. But those places that are yet to be developed, because I've seen a lot. I mean, I've seen a lot. Nigeria is full of potentials. There are waterfalls that are not yet recorded on websites. Yeah, I found 2 of them. One in Edo State, one in Ekiti State. So we have loads of potentials to be explored in Nigeria, and that's how Naijatreks started.
Thank you very much. Talking about waterfalls, I also discovered one in Plateau State. It's called Zungu Falls. I don't think many people have heard about it, and I don't think many people have seen it. I was surprised to see when I went. I mean, I didn't see, but I saw photographs of it when I went to Jos a couple of weeks ago, because I keep traveling anyway. Next to me here is Ify. Ify is out on a campaign to save our treasures. And God knows we have so many of them. I'll allow her time to just tell us briefly about why she chose to save Nigeria's treasures and not leave it to the Commission for Museum and Monuments.
Good afternoon, everyone. You're all welcome. My name is Ify Acholonu. I'm a lawyer by profession, with a passion for tourism and travel. I'm the founder, Save Our Treasures Heritage Foundation. What informed my decision to set up this foundation was from my travels. I noticed that each time I traveled, especially abroad, I would notice that most people who would come from these countries like France or what have you would explore the treasures that they have, would explore their own heritages. But you would find Nigerians and most Africans probably in the shops, probably shopping. They wouldn't have time and they wouldn't want to have any interest in most of these heritages. So I said to myself, we have a lot to boast for. You know, we have lots of heritages, we have diversities in Nigeria. Why don't I try to entrench the culture of tourism and travel among Nigerians? So that was how I set up this foundation. And so far it has paid off. We use a number of social media platforms like Twitter to help entrench this culture of tourism, and it has paid off. I get people asking me questions, I get people throwing comments at me, that I get people encouraging me, people I don't even know, they talk about several treasures, and I'm like, wow, okay, I'm truly making an impact. So that's actually what informed my decision to set up my foundation. Thank you.
So we go to Lara. Lara travels, she has traveled widely. She has a passion for photography and lifestyle. I'm not into lifestyle as such, but I'll let her just tell us what she does.
Okay, everybody. Hello, everybody. My name is Lara Arumire. I'm an HR person by profession. So basically, sometimes I don't even see myself as a traveler, but then, okay, I see myself more of a traveler than a writer. That's it, because my friends have been getting me, trying so much to get me document my travels. I get to travel. Okay, for someone who was raised in 3 different cities in Nigeria, I was raised in Lagos, Ijebu-Ode, and Abeokuta. Unfortunately, I was raised in 3 different cities, but I have parents who actually hate traveling. So they try to kill that passion in me. Whenever I tell them I'm going anywhere, they're like, I have to beg my parents, I have to cry, like that's what I have to go. I'm grown up, but then that's what I have to do whenever I want to travel. Now, okay, let's just say my interest traveling in Nigeria started when I had to live in India, and I got traveling around India, and all my friends were like, you travel so much in India, what is it about your country? And I'm like, okay, I've been to a few places. I've been to Calabar, I've been to Ibadan, I've been to Ogun State, like different cities in Ogun State. But then I realized I really did not really know much about Nigeria. So it was more like, okay, when I came back to Nigeria, and I'm like, okay, I spent 2 years traveling around 6 countries, and I had to travel different cities. So the passion was already built. So when I came back to Nigeria, I was like, okay, I want to travel. But then I look at the bad roads, I look at the security issues, and it's a big issue. Then I had to travel, last year I had to travel to Kwara State for my sister's wedding. So like I was just like, the scenery was just so beautiful, and I knew, okay, I have to come back. And then last August, I got a job offer in Kwara State, and I knew I had to go there, I had to live there. But then the funny thing was, before moving to Ilorin, I only knew about, I would say in Kwara State, the only 2 places I knew in Ilorin was Offa and Ilorin. That's like, to me, that's the whole of Kwara State. But then I got to Kwara State, I got to travel around Kwara State. I've been to like over 22 villages in Kwara State, actually, villages and town. I got to the border town of, I got to Jeba, I got to Patigi, which is a border town of Kwara and Niger. Then I met the Emir. Like, we visited on a Friday, so I got to experience the ceremony of the Emir coming out of the mosque after the Jumat service. There's so much ceremony just for the Emir to move from the mosque to his palace, which is just a walkable distance. It's like, okay, there's so much thing, and everyone goes down and like say, it was like, I can't remember his name now. It's the Etsu of Patigi. So they have this way of going down and just greeting the king. It's like in total obedience to him. And then, okay, now there's this central mosque of Ilorin, which every single thing in that mosque, everything used to design that mosque was brought in from Pakistan. It's a really beautiful mosque, even more beautiful than the mosque of Abuja. But then unfortunately I cannot go inside the mosque to see the beauty because I am a woman. So, but it's a really beautiful mosque. Those who've been inside will tell you it's a really, even from the outside, the architecture is really beautiful. So Kwara State is like, they have so many waterfalls, and it's unfortunate people do not get to travel to Kwara State. When I tell my friends, okay, I'm going to this village, they're like, what exactly are you looking for there? So it's like, the passion is there, and I just love to travel, and maybe someday I will get to document them because I have so many things I have to document. So someday I will get to that side and document them and figure out most of the pictures I have. So I guess that's fine.
Thank you very much. Sorry, can you just show that Nigeria map again? Before I go to our last panelist for this first round of talks, I'd like for you to look at the image, the map of Nigeria, and try to count how many states in this country you've visited. I also believe that many of us are Nigerians, but we don't really know where some of the states are. We don't know if Sokoto is in the northwest or in the northeast. You know, for a long time I also didn't know where Zamfara was. I didn't know where Adamawa was. I didn't know where Taraba was. I knew these were states that were in Nigeria, but I had no idea exactly where in the country the states are. So please just take some time and count how many states you visited. The person who has visited the most states will get a special gift from me. Yeah, I'm very serious about that. Let's quickly go over to Dobby. Last night I was at Terra Culture, and after the morning session here and the afternoon session at the Volkswagen Hall, we just thought to go to Terra Culture, and what did we see? Loads of food, music, dance, and all of that. It was such a bubbly environment. And as I was taking the pictures, I kept on remembering Dobby, because what she does is food. And you need to go to her site and see how pretty she makes Nigerian delicacies look. So I'll let her speak about what she does. And because, of course, cuisines are also a part of tourism. It's a major part of travel. If you travel, you need to eat. And many states, many countries around the world take their food seriously. They make every effort to sell their food. I have a special interest in street snacks and street food. I'll tell you more about that later. But Dobby.
Hello everyone, my name is Dobby, and I was inspired to start traveling, to document my journey through food, and it's been a very, very wonderful experience. I've been to, I grew up in Lagos. I schooled in Lagos and Enugu, and I don't know, there are lots of places to visit. Also, recently I was posted to the north for my youth service. That's Jigawa. And before then, I never knew anything about the north. Everything I heard about the north was, negative until I got there. And, my perspective changed about the north. So, traveling is wonderful. There are lots of places to visit. I've been to different states such as Imo, Owerri, Enugu, mostly in the East, and then Lagos. So it's just fun. You all should start traveling.
I like that statement. You all should start traveling, but that's essentially what we are trying to let you do. We haven't come here to say all this so that you can stay back in Lagos or wherever it is you live. At this point, I want to refer to what Richard Mofeda just said recently in an interview with The Sun. He said before he got the appointment to be a commissioner or a special advisor to the governor, he thought everything started and ended in Lagos. But going back home, he saw a different picture of his state, of his home state. And he's been there ever since. We hardly see him on the movies anymore. We don't see much of him. He attends a couple of events. But he said, look, if you don't go to these places, you will never know what it is that you have, even in your own state. And that's essentially the idea behind Travel Next Door. We want Nigerians to not think of travel as a big budget thing, as something you need to go far to do. You could go to the state next to you. If you're in Lagos, you could just easily cross over to your state. You could cross over to Ogun State. You could cross over to any neighboring state. If you are elsewhere in the country, there are at least 4 states that surround every state in the country. Just cross over to the next state and just go and see what that state has got to offer. This country is blessed with so much, and I need for all of us to just go and appreciate all of these things. We are doing ourselves a disservice if we do not live where we are so familiar with. I was in a group of, I was on a trip recently, and somebody was just jokingly saying, somebody will be born in Lagos, schools in Lagos, gets married in Lagos, works in Lagos, grows old in Lagos, and basically just spend their entire life in Lagos. That's just not the best way to live. I don't know, we should have some time for Q&A. I was hoping that I was able to talk about these images. Can we still have some time to? But we'll have to make it quick. You have to the pictures? A few, let us see.
So, well, no, with the numbers, right? While he's scrolling through the pictures of a town there, they've moved the people down so that they can communicate. But anyway, this is the Obaz Palace. And can you scroll one forward, please? And again. Now, these statues are pretty much on every corner. They pretty much surround the courtyard, right? I have no idea what they mean. There is no information about what they mean. They're just there. They're unprotected. People can go and put graffiti. As you can see, there's like rubbish all over the place. These are amazing things that nobody's taking care of now. Unlike Belu, I don't expect everyone to be able to climb up 660 stairs. It took me forever. But
what I'm trying to do is say, this exists. If you can't go, I'll go for you. You want to send me money to go? That's cool too, but I'll go for you. There are so many things that we can do. Keep scrolling forward just so that they can see that. There's so many different things that we can do in this place. We need to see that. People that actually putting graffiti on these things. Only God knows how long ago how old they are. But these things should be guarded by the government. There should be a monitor there, just to say, okay, you're coming in, yeah, you can look at it, yeah, you can take pictures, but do not deface it, because we can't recreate this stuff. And nowhere in the world has what we have. But it's not just about, oh, let's preserve this. It's also about having fun. For instance, why is nobody arranging a 5K race around the wall of Queen Amina of Zaria? Just so the people can go and visit it. Why is no one going to Ijebu-Ode to look at, the alleged burial place of the Queen of Sheba? I mean, come on. I always wanted to be related to a queen. There you go. Do you know what I mean? Why are we not doing this? And you have all these people here who have gone around and they've explored. I didn't know that people ate Bolian fish in Port Harcourt. And I love food. And they told me Bolian is nothing. Bolian fish, on the other hand, is something else. So that's what we're talking about. If you know these things, if you know of, I lived in Nigeria for 10 years. Yo, dude, we talking. We talking. We talking. You can do it later. Yeah, so basically, if you know about these things, even if you can't go, the one thing I know about Nigerians is you cannot argue with them on how important their own villages are. You're talking about Gary. Some Igbo person is arguing with me that Ijebu Gary is not as good as Igbo Gary. I'm like, now wait. I love Edika Ikon, but Ijebu Gary is the Gary. And they will argue. So if you're that proud, then tell one of us so we can go and visit it and share it with the entire country. Let's make it a thing where before you even, when you come to someone, you say, I've been to Eiffel Tower, I've been to Venice and everything. Have you been to Abule Egba? Have you been to Ikogosi Springs? Have you climbed the 660 steps of Idore Hills? Have you? Let's make it that, because I'm telling you, these things are amazing. We don't recognize them, and that's why they always insult us, that us Africans, we don't know what we have, and then we sell it. Let's not do that, man. So yeah, please, seriously, invite me to your towns. I will bring my own sleeping bag. I really did carry that out. Yeah.
Okay, so there are issues to find my picture. Okay, that's okay.
Okay, just quickly, I just want to give you like some different images from Lagos. Lagos is not just made up of like central areas that we tend to go to all the time, VI, Ikeja, all those areas. But if you go beyond the comfort zone, you'll find a lot of beautiful areas, villages that you may not have known are part of Lagos State. Well, this is obviously one of the marinas in Lagos, but if you just continue, that's an image from the Lagos Carnival. So this is one of the beaches near Badagry. Okay, they're not that accessible unless you have a boat, which makes it quite difficult for most people to get to. But if you can get to them, they're just so beautiful, untouched, virgin beaches that, I mean, if you think about all these resorts around, the 5-star resorts around the world, these are the kind of places that people like pay a lot of money to go to, and they're just, sitting there ignored by most people who live 45 minutes away from them. And just in general, like looking at Lagos as a city, it's a very active city. There's a lot to do. There are we have a lot of races, a lot of different activities, and it's a very energetic city. So it's great to discover even the city that you live in, because you know, you say you don't discover Nigeria, but you don't even discover the city you live in. People tend to stay in their comfort zone. Next. Another image from the beaches of Lagos. I mean, it's just every time I go to the beach in Lagos, I just sit there in awe and think, wow, like, this is so beautiful. If people around the world could see these beautiful beaches, they wouldn't be spending like thousands of dollars going to, you know, Ghana and South Africa. They could come and visit Lagos. They can come and see just, you know, even people living here. You can just go in your own backyard and discover a great city. Next. We part of the We Love Lagos campaign. We wanted to do like flash mobs around Lagos so that people get a visual idea of what Lagos entails. And we did one at the beach and had a little fun while doing it. But yeah, also we wanted to get pictures of people wearing the We Love Lagos t-shirts, doing different activities, so that people see that Lagos is a sophisticated city. It's got a lot of different things to do, and it's a very active city. And these are things that people should be proud of, because the Lagos polo team is a pretty big deal. Concerts, jazz concerts, plays, theater. There's a lot of culture. There's a lot of talent in Lagos, and only now do we see it becoming more prominent and people giving it the attention that it deserves, which is great. Yeah, that's it, really.
Okay, I'm trying to run fast because I'm conscious of time. Yeah. Okay, this is Badagry. I went to Badagry last year, October. It's a travel group. Last year. Okay, so we went around Badagry, crossed the lagoon to the other side, trekked the beaches, took photos, took coconut and all that. So we went to hang out at these joints just along the lagoon in Badagry town, and they served us palm wine and ofada rice. Now, I've never eaten that combo before in my life, and when I tried it, I was like, wow, this is awesome. I had to put my cup beside, on the railing, just by the water, and I had to take that for shot. Yeah, this is Jos, when we went climbing the volcanoes of Jos. This image is not too clear, probably because of the resolution of the computer, but you can see other volcanoes with their crater down. Okay, you can see some other volcanoes in the landscape. Craters going deep. Now, if you try climbing this, it's not that easy as it looks. You can see everybody dragging their buttocks on those rocks. It's steep, and on this side it goes down, the other side it goes down. It's just so steep. You just have to try and find your way down the volcanoes, and you'll be very scared like me. He said these volcanoes are extinct, but who knows? Just, So next picture, please. Okay, this was Sidore. It was like 6 years ago. When I went, I followed some hunters to explore Hawa Cave. I heard about this cave in the town, and you only visit the cave once in a year during the Rosso Festival. The cave is quite far from the town itself. You can see that's the entrance of the cave. You can see some hunters, some bat hunters there. So the village bat hunters said they were going to the cave, and I followed them. It was a beautiful experience. Getting close to the cave, I started hearing gunshots, Dane guns, catapults, and all that. And they killed one bat for me, and they gave it to me. I've heard before leaving the town, I heard that the cave contained about 1,500 people. I didn't believe, cave in granite, 1,500 people. I was like, these village people are just funny. When I got there and I entered the cave, it was all dark, and I started going in. It was opening up. And before I knew it, it was all big. I just started seeing flash of torchlights from different corners of the cave, and there was even a spring inside the cave. And I'm like, wow, this is beautiful. I feel like sitting down there and just chilling. But you know, it's dangerous, all that, but beautiful. This is Enugu. I was in Enugu 2 years ago, but I've been hearing a lot about home waterfalls. Like there are 2 waterfalls inside a long limestone cave, and I'm like, wow, I need to visit that place sometime. I went visiting with one of my friends, and I stayed in Ungo. Ungo is a village located on top of a hill, Milliken Hill, very popular in Enugu. And the guy told me, look, well, I'm going to take you to home, but there is another cave not far from my house. Thank you. Like a lot of people don't know about this cave. It's also like home, but it also has a waterfall that I would like to take me there. And I was like, oh really? Okay, take me there. And he took me to this cave, and I got this very beautiful cave with the waterfall. And then we left there and went to home waterfall itself. Now this was Port Harcourt, that's Canny Reef, Port Harcourt Festival. It holds in December every year. And you know, I tried to put up this picture because of this interesting thing happening here. This is a masquerade. You can see some other guys carrying the guy inside the water. Now, this is a masquerade, and what we've been told is that masquerades embody the souls of our ancestors, you know. But this guy has a bottle of Sprite and Fanta in front of him, and I was like, what the hell, what is this? Like, this guy, and the guy was dancing, and you know, at some point we opened it, take it up and put it. And I was like, man, I'm saying I'm hungry, and I'm hungry and thirsty in the hot sun, and this guy is having fun. But anyway, it's all cool. Next picture, yeah, this is Niger Delta. Because I'm a geologist, I work in the Niger Delta. Yeah, I travel and do tourism. My profession is geology. Yeah. Work in the Niger Delta, deep in the creeks. Now, when you talk about Niger Delta in this world, what everybody knows is Niger Delta for is oil. But look, it saddens my heart when I go through this area and I see loads and loads of tourism potential. I mean, there was a time we were working and just beside our base camp in the field, I saw monkeys, like a group of monkeys, and they were playing just on the other side of the creek, you know, hunting for fish and eating. And you know, I was shocked early in the morning, like 6 to 7 a.m. Grab my camera, started snapping photos. It was just beautiful. Some other times we'll be going on the creeks and we'll see different animals, beautiful fishes. They are all there. Crocodiles, monitor lizards, turtles, different species of turtles. I have them all on my blog, you know, but it's just wasting them. Now, this is a beautiful sunset on Niger Delta, and I thought, oh, I could show this to people. Next picture, please. Okay, this is Gurara Waterfalls in Niger State. I went to Niger for a conference, a geology conference, by the way, and I thought, oh, I'm hearing of this Gurara Waterfalls in this Niger State. I must go there. So I just took off from the conference, grabbed my camera, and you know, had some directions to Gurara Waterfalls, and I went there. And you know, I got there that day. It was empty. There was nobody there. Nobody. So the gate guy just said, oh, you can go down and have fun. I said, okay. And I saw this while trying to go down the hill. I saw, oh, it's not clear. But it states that one notice, if swimming in the waterfalls is at your own risk. But you know, I'm a geologist and I work in the field, and you know, they trained us how to swim and I know how to float and all that. So I got to the waterfall and I was like, wow, this beautiful pool of water beneath this waterfall is just there. Like, I want to go inside this thing and see what's, you know, I love adventure, and I took off my, you know, I went in. You know, I entered this cool water, even though it was sunny outside, the water was cool and green, beautiful. I've never seen that in my life. And when I was swimming, as I got just to the middle, I saw a big fish swim in front of me. I ran back and I swam outside like I was scared. I've never been that scared inside the water, but it was beauty. I felt like, I need to go back to this picture.
Because of time, we need to quickly move to Lakwe. Lakwe, please just talk us through your pictures. Lakwe's images are on a different flash, so we need a few seconds to get them downloaded.
Okay, I'm not sure exactly what images are going to come about. I'll talk anyway about places I've been.
2 minutes.
Well, I'm waiting for pictures, yeah? Okay. So, like I said, as a result of studying, okay, this is Agbokim Waterfalls in Cross River State. It's actually not well known. The most popular, I think the most popular waterfalls in Cross River are the Kwa Falls. This one is about 3 hours from Calabar by road. This is the drill ranch in Calabar itself. So even in Calabar, there are things to see and do. So it's not even about wondering about how am I going to get to Obudo, how am I going to get to, even in Calabar itself, there are beautiful things to see. Let's move to the next one. I actually really like this picture. One of my passions is photography. This tree, I think it's called Plymouth Forest, and this is Abuja. Yes. People don't associate beauty or travel or anything with Abuja. Abuja is money or government. But if you want to see beauty, you're going to find it. Let's move to the next. This is one of my favorite places ever. This is Mary Slessor's house. It's in Okoyong, and to get there from Calabar, you need to take a boat ride, like a canoe. That one takes about 15 to 30 minutes. Then you take Okada. The Okada takes about 30 minutes. It's not fun. And you go up and down, and I was very nervous. I was the only girl, so I was nervous. So it's far. But when you get there, you're just so happy. I was so happy. I think that if that is today, when she was living there in the 19th century, how did she feel going there and deciding to start? She didn't speak the language, she didn't know the people. How on earth did she do that? And this, of course, is not the first place. This was built a few years after she had moved there. So I really, I'm just pleased that I went there, and I really want everybody else to go there. It just makes so much sense. Let's go to the next one. Oh, these are the hills of Obudu. Of course, everybody knows that Obudu is beautiful. So I mean, this just tells you that, just encourages that. This is Calabar again. This statue, I actually don't know what it's called. I don't think anybody knows. Everybody just knows, oh, these are the hands in Calabar. So whenever you see this, you know that's Calabar. I like this picture, this sunset in Calabar. So, and I think, I also like the fact that it shows the ancient and modern. That's a canoe in the front, and that's a ship at the back. Let's move to the next. This is the bridge at Ikom. Ikom, like I said, it's about 2 to 3 hours from Calabar. 4 hours. Okay, maybe it depends on who's driving. So I was fascinated by this bridge. Of course, there's nothing like this in Lagos. And this bridge was built apparently in the 40s or something like that. Let's move to the next one. Oh, this is the cable car at Obudu. Let's move. This is Obudu as well. The twists and turns are about 22. Let's move to the next picture. Yes. So we've gone through the pictures I selected for you. If you want to see more pictures, please go to lakweshueton.com.
Thank you. Well, I'll just make the run you through my pictures. I travel mainly to document everyday life. I think my inspiration for doing this is, it was about a couple of years ago when I was in the Lagos Museum at Onikom. We were researching for an exhibition, and I stumbled upon so many magazines published during the colonial years. You know, the colonial people, the colonial masters, did a lot for our heritage. They were the ones who went onto the field to document what our people were doing. They were documenting what our forefathers were living, how they were living their lives. And our people were just basically fighting with themselves. You know, so I saw all of that documented in magazines published abroad. And I was like, why were they the only ones doing this? And 50 years after, we still are not concerned about our heritage. We're not concerned about, you know, documenting how we are living for posterity. The expatriates did that for us. And before, when people are talking about colonization, they say it's negative. It's not 100% negative. Most of the things we know today about Nigeria, about the tribes in Nigeria, were researched and documented by the whites, by the British. So I guess part of my drive to go around the country is basically because of that experience, wanting to document everyday life. So you will not see gorgeous images. You just see the pictures I take on the road, to what extent people took building. And this architecture is only meant for the palaces. You won't find it in the town or any other place. A guy took me around, I went inside. Outside was so sunny, 31 degrees centigrade or something, but inside was as cool as if you were in an air-conditioned room. And there were no pillars to hold the structure. Everything was just a circular structure, and it remained standing hundreds and hundreds of years after. Next slide. Like I said, everyday life. I also try to identify what connects us as Nigerians. You know, we tend to believe we are all different people. We are Hausa, Igbo, Yoruba, all of that. But believe me, the same thing we do in the South, in any state, is the same thing they do in other parts of the country, only slightly differently. There's Boli right here, there's the same plantain, Boli in Port Harcourt. This was in Bayelsa, when I went to Bayelsa last year. Please go on, let me just make it quick. This, on my way back to Lagos from Bauchi, I saw carrot. Carrot is in season in Jos. In Nasarawa, you will find cashew. In down southwest, you find other things. So we all are familiar with carrots. Now, this is one of the most beautiful things you'll see in Jos, colonial architecture. This was built in the 1940s or 1950s for civil servants working for the colonial government. Some were occupied by Nigerians, others by the expatriates. They still remain standing and they've been allocated to Nigerians now and they live there. Those structures are amazing. They are scattered all over the city. Now this is another architecture church. It's one of those traditional churches in Jos. I love it so much. I don't understand. The services are done in the local dialect, and you see them dressed in whatever. I just captured this image about 4 years ago or 5 years ago, and it's always been with me. Next, please. Now this guy was in Abeokuta, October last year. We were attending a literary event attended by so many expatriates. And this guy came with his brother or something and they were selling these caps. Believe me, at the end of the festival, for 3 days after, everybody was wearing these caps, including the Oyinbos. They were all wearing and we were taking pictures with them. I felt so happy and so glad to be, for someone to be so proud of his own culture, to even have the boldness to come to that venue to sell those caps, it made so much money. This is the fish, it goes with the body. Please, let's go on. Also in Bayelsa. Now, I was before I traveled to Bauchi, I was in Kaduna. And these are the biggest garden eggs I've ever seen in my life. They're so big, so big. And you will spend, maybe, for you to finish one, you probably will spend 5 minutes just cutting through it and all of that. Move on, please. Yeah, I met this woman a year ago at Bayelsa. She's just a regular, she stays in something like that on this other side. So she was clearing this bush because of mosquitoes. She needed to clear all of that bush so that they can be free of mosquito bites in the night when they sleep. Her name is Mercy. Move on, please. Yeah, I was in Jos, and for the very first time, I've traveled to Jos many times. And Jos was where everything started, so I'm always at home in Jos. Unfortunately, what has happened, but Jos remains beautiful. This is a street snack. Like I said, I'm interested in everything street food. And I take a lot wherever I find myself. Nothing happens to me, I'm just eating everything. But this I could not eat. This is called farah. It's a grasshopper. It's grasshopper. And believe me, I saw people buying and just chewing it and all of that. I was like, that was the first time I would be so it's all the way, it's imported, if I can use that word, from Maiduguri. It's originated from Maiduguri, but it's now in Jos. I've never seen them before. I just couldn't move away, I had to take the pictures. It's so sweet, they do it with pepper. Okay, next one please. Out in Makurdi. I spent Christmas in Makurdi last year. I wanted to do something different. I was tired of all of the flashy things we do in Lagos and all of that. I felt, let me go somewhere different. And I went to Makurdi. I'd never been to Makurdi before. I went there, spent a week in Makurdi. And the beautiful thing about Makurdi is that you will see cement structures and huts next to each other. There's just this balance between modern structure and modern architecture. Believe me, and the people prefer to stay here than in that spot. Yeah, they said, well, it's not about poverty, it's just our way of life. And that's the only city I've ever been to where you will find modern architecture, commingling with the cement structures. Fine, move on please. A list of 104 places you could choose to visit in the country. You can see that list on travelnextdoor.com. There are flyers out there. If you're interested, I can give them over to you. Thank you so much, everybody.